So here we go. Corresponding angles are always congruent, and that is false. Okay. They're only congruent when the lines that are connected by the transversal are parallel. Okay. Consecutive interior angles are complementary. That's false. They're supplementary. Okay. Not complementary, so this is false. Complementary is when it adds up to 90. One way to remember is it's right to give a complement, right? It's right to give someone a complement, so complement is 90, okay? Vertically opposite angles are always congruent. That's true, right? When two or more lines meet, right? Vertically opposite are congruent. It has nothing to do with parallel lines or anything like that. Sum of interior angles in a triangle are always supplementary. That is true. They always add up to 180, and that's what supplementary means, right? So that is true. If two lines are parallels, then the alternate exterior angles are always congruent, and that is true. If consecutive interior angles are congruent, then the two lines lying between are parallel. That's false, right? Consecutive interior angles need to be supplementary for this to happen, so this is false. Should be supplementary. Should be supplementary. Sorry. Okay, should be supplementary for this to be parallel. Because consecutive interior are these two here, right? They have to add up to 180, and then we can say that these two lines are parallel. Okay, so we are what, out of 6? 2, 4, 6. So question 1 is out of 6. Maybe so you remember, or it's hard to remember, I guess. So put down a mark out of 6 for 1. Then we have question 2. Consider the diagram to the right. Use it to name the following angle pairs. Okay, so A and B, what are they? And these are just adjacent. Adjacent or consecutive. Consecutive interior, if you did that, that's fine as well. Okay, because they're also, these are, regardless, they're supplementary, right? A and B are right next to each other. I would also take, if you said that, is there anybody that put something else that you're wondering about? Yeah, go ahead. What did you put? Jeremiah, right? Yeah. He's typing, probably. Supplementary. I will give that, yeah. For today I will give that, but the best way is adjacent. These are right next to each other. That's the best way to describe them. Okay, moving on. A and G. So A and G are alternate interior. Alternate interior. There we go. Right, because these are parallel lines, and well, we don't know if they're parallel, but anyhow, these would be considered alternate interior. And then D and H, they're consecutive interior. Right, they're right here. And then C and D are vertically opposite. C and E are corresponding. corresponding angles. And G and F, those are considered alternate exterior. Alternate exterior. A and F, A is way down here and F is way up here, and they're still corresponding. You kind of forget about the one in between. Okay, so A and F are corresponding, so that one might have been a little tricky. So this is out of 7, right? So the top one, if you put supplementary, I'll give you the mark for A. Okay, out of 7. Oh, somebody said something. Oh, right. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I would say there. But because I haven't, I cannot recall giving a specific name for two that are next to each other like this. I will accept supplementary, but I would say adjacent interior or just adjacent is fine. Yeah. So from now on, I'm making a mental note that you should know how to call this from now on. You're right, Andrea. All right. Solving for x. So we know that these are alternate interior, right? And we know something about them, meaning that they are the same. And I'll just remove the brackets there right away because I will just say angles are alternate interior, right? And are congruent, okay? Why are they congruent? Because of these markings here. We're guaranteed that not only do we know the name, we also know that they're equal to each other. So, oh, I forgot the x here. 36x minus 63x, right? That brings the 63 over here, subtracting the equal sign. I have the negative 90 on that side, and this 9 comes over adding. And you end up with negative 27x. Oh, why did I take away the brackets? Because the brackets are, in this case, just there to contain that expression and to have a degree symbol on it. But as soon as you plug them in here, you no longer need them. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you thought it was to the power of 0? That is IPR, right? IPR, that would be equal to 1, but it wouldn't really work here, right? Like this can't be 1. I do recall this. If everybody just look up for 1 second. I did do this in our notes, right? Like I did put a bracket and degrees there. These are the notes for this semester, so it is there. Maybe not. It wasn't there originally, but we did add that, right? So you don't need the brackets anymore here. The only time you need a bracket and you need to keep it is if you had like a minus in front of it or a coefficient in front of it, right? Then you need to first distribute. Okay. And this gives you negative 81. You divide both sides by negative 27. X is equal to positive 3. Right? So you get, I would say, you get 1 mark for this, for x is equal to 3. And then next you're supposed to find A and B. So A, to find A, we know A is equal to this, right? A is vertically opposite to that, so we can just actually say A is equal to 36 times 3, which I just found, minus 9. And that's going to be in degrees. So that gives you, 1 second, I saw something pop up. I'm just going to, this gives you 108 minus 9. So A is equal to 99 degrees. Okay. Let me read this here. No, you don't have to indicate that in this case because you're telling me that by just setting it up like that. Yeah. Okay. And then B, we can just say that A and B are alternate exterior, and we can just go 99 because they're alternate exterior. Angles are congruent. So when in doubt, put down an explanation, right? Because it's only worth, like, this is worth half and this is worth half, I can't expect much more. So if the 99 shows up for A and B, you get both half marks, and so it's out of 2, right, for question 3. So you get the marks there. You could also argue that this angle is corresponding to this, right? And that's how you got your angle. Anyways, you could have, to take it further, you could have also argued that B and this are vertically opposite. So B is equal to 63 times 3 minus 90. You should still get 99. Backside. Okay. So indicate the order in which you answered each question. So at one like this, can you please just do that? For marking is so much easier if I can follow your path, because it gets pretty convoluted if you have more than 4 angles even, right? Like there are more options the more you find, right? Because these are all connected. So I will start with A, right? That's my first one. And I travel along this parallel line. I hit the transversal that allows me to jump to the other side. And so they're alternate interior. So 23 degrees, alternate interior angles are congruent. That's it. That's all you have to say there. And B is over here. And notice that I extended that transversal a little bit. So if you go from this parallel line along the transversal to the other one, these are corresponding, right? Corresponding angles. So B is equal to 137, that's my second, and corresponding angles are congruent. And I know that these lines are parallel, right? That's very important. Normally that's what it's going to be, otherwise you can't jump to the other parallel line. There's no way, right? You know what they're called, but you can't say that they're the same. Okay, so this is 137, you got that. And D, that's the one I'm going to tackle next. Or actually C is easy to do, it's vertically opposite, right? So that's my third one, and that's 110. Vertically opposite angles are congruent. So you can tell that I don't give you a lot of room, right? And D is just they're supplementary, just straight angle, right? So there I'm going to go 180 minus 137, and that's 43. Okay, and I will just say straight angle. and that gives me 43. I put that in there, and that's so 1 mark for each correct line. So if you don't have an explanation, you just have 23, I would take off half a mark. Okay, so the number itself is important, but the explanation needs to match. Okay, so that's out of 4. Question 4 is out of 4. And then we go question 5. For each of the following, indicate whether or not lines are parallel. I was supposed to say solid lines, but I hope you got it anyways. Yeah. Well, those are the only that in this case can be parallel. So here, oh, you're going up here. Sorry, somebody's for Gabriel. Okay. For A, I did triangle is equal to 180, so I did. You got 27 for A. Oh, because of that. Yes, I have to be very careful when I make these. So I see that folks got 43 here, and then they went sum of triangle to get that, which is 27. Yes, give yourself some mark. That's my mistake. When you make these, you have to double, triple check everything, and I didn't triple check. Everything else worked out, but that I guess didn't. So go ahead and give yourself some mark there. That's my mistake. Thanks for letting me know. It's valid, right? You're using, yeah, absolutely. So technically, I'm just going to make this comment, right? If this is what you did, it should be 27 based on this. If this is 23, then these two lines are technically not parallel, right? I just want you to see the problem that arises if that's the case, right? So this could be a good option. This could be a good example of proving whether or not these two lines are parallel, right? You show that this is 27, therefore these two lines are not parallel. Okay. So I'm in a sense glad that it came up. All right. Here, parallel lines are parallel since corresponding angles are congruent. Right? We know that they're corresponding. We know that they're the same. No work necessary. You don't even have to calculate anything. You just look at it. This would be not lines are not parallel. Not parallel since alternate exterior angles are not congruent. Right? So there's 53 and 55. So you named them and you said what's wrong with it. So you get 1.5 for this and 1.5 for this, because it's not just 1 mark, because you have to name, right? Name it and then say why not. So you need to understand what needs to happen with that pair. So I would give you 1.5 for each. And C, last one. The question it lies in, are these two parallel, right? So how are you going to get there? Obviously, here you need to do a little bit more work. You need to figure out A, because right? These are two lines that look parallel and they're connected by a transversal here. So if I find the value here, I can name them and say whether or not they are. So angle A would be 180 minus 59 minus 64. I can't remember if this is, in fact, I think it is, yeah. So it's 57 degrees. So lines are parallel since corresponding angles are congruent. And here I'm just going to say sum of triangles equal to 180 next to this one. And then you make your conclusion there. And this one is worth 2 marks because you had to do an extra work here. So I'd give you half a mark for getting that, and then 1.5 for explaining and saying what's wrong with it.